shop walk day 3. I got the knives heat treated, alcohol hardness tested, and surface ground. So I'm going to start on the grind of the day and see how far we can get on that. I got 3 of them to do. I'm going to put a flat grind on this batch here. It's pretty cool looking flat grind. It's kind of got a sloping angle to it. But the sun got bright. But we'll set this up and I'll show you a couple of little tricks to do that may help somebody out. Well, it's time to grind these things, and there's a couple things I want to talk about here. You know, there's a misconception about jigs. I've probably ground 600 or 700 knives free-handed. I use the jig sometimes, most of the time I don't. But if I'm making 7, 8, 10 blades at a time, and freehand takes you 3 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours to grind one out, and a jig I can rough grind one out in 10 minutes, well, you're going to do it faster. I don't believe in CNC machines because it's press a button once you get the code done and that's it. With the jig, you still have to understand the concept of grinding, and I do not advocate any jigs until you have freehand ground for some time. And once you learn to freehand grind, you can grind anything there is. You know, on these recurve blades, some of the recurve blades I use 1-inch wide wheels, and I put a real soft curved grind to them, and there's no way you can do it with a fixture. It's just practice and doing it. I've been doing it a long time, and I'm gonna flat grind these knives, you know, and I got a batch to make. So there's a lot of knife makers out there who lie and say they don't use them. You're not gonna bang up 15 or 20 knives in a day's time when you're standing there for 3 hours, you know, grinding one knife. So you know, if they say they're doing that, they're grinding 20 knives in a day, well, they're full of crap. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it if you're making a mass number. Like I said, with some of the fancy recurve blades I do, higher end stuff, you can't do them. With fixtures, you're limited to straight lines. You know, you don't have a lot of variance in them. When you freehand grind, you can do any kind of grind there is, whether it be flat grind, convex grind, hollow grind, whatever. Like I said, I've did 500 or 600 knives freehand, you know, for like 10 to 12, 14 years. That's all I did was freehand stuff. And when you go to making larger batches, like I said, you take a lot of time up just standing here grinding one knife. And to grind one knife, even after you grind 500 knives, you're going to screw a knife up. And you put the work of profiling, cutting up, profiling, heat treating, alcohol hardness testing, surface grinding. When you put all compound all the time you put into that blade to screw a blade up, it sucks. It sucks, you know. And if you're going to do it for a living, you can't grind all day to screw a blade up. You've just wasted a whole day's time and belts and all the time you put into it. So, you know, I'm not going to lie about them. I don't think you see anything wrong with them. I don't think you should depend on them for every grind there is. Mine is just a simple fixture that I had made. D&D Rust made. I made it double-sided, so I can just keep the blade here, grind it, flip it over. I grind everything after heat treat. I think, especially D2 and A2, I think they grind cleaner, and I get a more consistent grind with them, and that's how I do every steel basically. I don't rough grind. I go ahead after a heat treat. You will not take the temper out, you know, keep them cool and grind slow. You can get there, but I thought I'd just add that there before I start grinding this, because I know there's an elephant in the room and people don't like to talk about it. So it is what it is. It is what I said it is. So I've been in this game a long time, and you know, a lot of people do use them and they don't. Some makers do. Like Snowdy, he's upfront about it. You know, making knives for money. You can't spend, you know, all day just on one blade. It just ain't that anything worth it if you're trying to do it to make money. And knife workers work hard enough to make money as it is anyways. And belts and steel, it's expensive, and to make mistakes, even you make mistakes after you've ground for 20 years, you still do. It's just you can't get away from it. You're a human being. So just wanted to add that before I start grinding it. So there we go.